So in this video, we want to develop the sum and difference rules for derivatives, and then in the subsequent video, we'll use those rules. So the sum and difference rules for derivatives are as follows. Suppose f of x and, ooh, that's naughty, g of x be differentiable functions. Then if we want to take the derivative of the sum or difference of two functions, we can take the sum or difference of the individual derivatives. So in other words, we don't have to add or subtract the two functions first, then take the derivative. We can individually take the function derivatives. And if you were going to prove this, you would use the limit as h goes to 0 on the difference quotient. Anytime you are making a claim about a derivative, or trying to develop a formula for a derivative of some particular function, you want to use the definition of the derivative. So dx, we want to take the derivative of the sum or difference of two functions. We would just take the limit as h goes to 0 of the difference quotient applied to those two functions. So the difference quotient would say everywhere you see an x, replace the x with x plus h. So you would start off by going f of x plus h, and then you'd go plus or minus the g with the x replaced with x plus h. And then the difference quotient says take and subtract the original function. And the original function was the sum or difference of these two functions. So we get f of x plus or minus the g of x. So there's the difference quotient. And then what you want to notice is that you can do a little bit of rearranging. So we take the limit as h goes to 0 of, we could actually rearrange the numerator as f of x plus h minus f of x. So we get this guy here, and then we would have plus or minus, and we'd have the g of x plus h minus the g of x, just reorganizing the numerator pieces, and it would all be over h. So we could actually now break this into two fractions over h. We could say, or two ratios over h. We could say the limit as h goes to 0 of, hey, I'm gonna separate the f stuff, f of x plus h minus f of x, all over f of x all over h, plus or minus, separate the f stuff from the g stuff, x plus h minus the g of x. I can't make x's today. H. And from homework 3 videos, we want to recognize that if we had the limit of the sum or difference of two ratios, we could take the limit of the individual ratios. So using homework 3 content, we could separate this into the limit of x plus h minus f of x all over h, plus or minus take the limit on this guy right here, the limit as h goes to 0 of g of x plus h minus g of x all over h. And this limit is going to be the definition of the derivative of f, plus or minus this limit would just be the derivative of g prime of x, and that establishes the result. Hey, I want to take the derivative of the sum or difference of two functions. Go ahead and take the derivatives of the individual pieces and add or subtract the result.